How does Medicare cover cataract surgery for 2026? Not the same way it did in the past, which is dependent, it's always dependent on the type of insurance you have. So let's start off and let's say you have the most popular type of insurance right now for retirees is a private Medicare Advantage plan, an HMO or a PPO plan. Now every plan's slightly different, but with cataract surgery, you typically will pay a coinsurance. And it's typically around 20%, but I'm going to refer you to your actual plan. Now, with Medicare Advantage, you have an annual out-of-pocket maximum. So if you've been having a hard year, you might have already met the maximum. And once you've met the maximum, you don't pay any more for the rest of the year. In which case, if now you need to add cataract surgery to your other illnesses, then your cataract surgery would not have a copay or copay or coinsurance or any cost to you. That's generally not the case, right? You're generally pretty healthy, and the main thing that's going to happen to you this year, you might see the doctor a couple times, but the main thing will be this cataract surgery. Now, I love when people say, can I get both eyes done at the same time? Because that's how I think too. Like, get me in, get me out, let's get this over with. You know, like 1 week instead of several weeks recovery. No, they won't do that. They'll do one eye at a time, separate surgeries, separate recoveries, all these separate doctor visits. If you need cataract surgery, how much will it cost you out of pocket? Well, the answer is always going to be based on what type of insurance you have. If you only have government Medicare A and B, which is still about 6% of people are in that bucket, then you will pay 20% of the cost of the surgery. What is your ophthalmologist charging? Remember, 2 eyes, 2 separate surgeries. So you're going to have some cost. Let's say you have a Medicare Supplement Plan G or a Plan N, then you will pay your annual Part B deductible. For 2026, that is $288. You say, well, I already met my deductible for the year. Then you will pay $0. You will not have an out-of-pocket cost for these 2 separate surgeries. Let's say you have Medicare Advantage, PPO, or an HMO plan. Those are all over the board, but in general, most have a 20% copay, coinsurance for cataract surgery. Again, they could all be different. Or on Medicare Advantage, you might have already met your out-of-pocket maximum for the year, in which case you don't pay anything for any more care for the rest of the year, so you wouldn't pay anything extra to have these 2 cataract surgeries. You know, it's like any surgery that you're scheduling. You don't want to do it like right at the end of the year so that you travel into the next year. You want to start this journey at the beginning of a year or in the middle of a year. So people that start it in October and then they find out that they can't get the second one till January, they're mad if they start into a new deductible year or a new out-of-pocket maximum from Medicare Advantage. So I think most of us have kind of figured out how we got to play that game. Try to schedule everything at the beginning of the year. There's a little I gotcha on cataract surgery. You knew I was going to get to the I gotcha. There's almost always an I gotcha. And the I gotcha is the surgery, the type of lens that Medicare covers is the OK lens. It's the monofocal lens. So it means you'll still wear your eyeglasses. Now, the better lens, the lens that most people would want given the choice, especially if they didn't have to pay extra for it, is the multifocal lens. So I can see up close and at a distance, and I won't need glasses after I get the surgery. Wouldn't that be nice? Especially when glasses can cost you, $400 or $500 a pair. So Medicare pays for the cheap lens, not the expensive lens. And if you want to get the expensive lens, you pay the cost difference between those. And you're like, okay, how much is that? Well, that's going to vary by your doctor, by the region of the country that you're in. But I'll say between $1,500 and $4,000 per eye. So I've talked to people, rich people, that said it was worth the money. It's amazing. I don't use my glasses. I can see great. It was amazing. And then I talked to a lot of people that said, I got the cheap lenses and I'm fine. I've been wearing glasses my whole life. I don't care. It's not a burden to keep wearing my glasses. And I'm good. So that's something that you will discuss with your ophthalmologist when you need cataract surgery. And everybody eventually needs cataract surgery if we live long enough. It's one of those things like arthritis. If we live long enough, that is one of the things that we get for living into our older ages. Average age for cataract surgery is 72. So I'm turning 60 this year. When I went to the eye doctor last year, they said I had cataracts, stage 1. I was like, stage 1? I'm only 60, And they go, well, they don't do surgery until you're at like stage 4. which will probably be around 72 if you're normal. But I was still like, what? I'm not old enough for cataract surgery. No, you have them. They don't bother you. They will continue to grow. They will cloud your lenses, and you will find in probably about 10 years that you want cataract surgery. So prepare for cataract surgery. Now there's another I gotcha. Just got an extra one out there for you. And that is, let's say the best case scenario. The best case scenario, meaning the least out of pocket for you, would be you'd have a Medicare supplement, Plan G or N. You've already met your deductible for the year, so you will not pay anything additionally for your surgeries, your 2 cataract surgeries, because you've met your deductible and you're going to get the cheap lenses, the one that Medicare pays for. Best case scenario, so you're like, this is cool, I'm not going to pay for this, and then you get a prescription for the steroid, for the anti-inflammatory eye drops after your cataract surgery. And this is the big I gotcha, because your doctor doesn't know what these drugs cost. This is the preferred drug your doctor wants. And can you imagine that no insurance company covers that drug? Because that's basically where we are. I'm not going to name the drugs. Part of that is because I struggle to name these drugs. So I'm just going to tell you that it's very common that after your surgery, your doctor gives you that prescription and you go and you find out that it's not covered by your formulary, by your drug insurance plan, that it's on your own, and it's $400. It's a lot. And then you're stuck with the rigmarole of going back to your doctor and saying, new prescription, please, give me something cheaper. Because they always used to use a cheaper drug. The doctor doesn't want to use it because the doctor feels that this more expensive drug performs better in whatever medical reason. So he wants you on the better drug, and that's when you tell him, the $400 is prohibitive. Give me the cheaper drug. So I'm trying to get you ahead of that whole back and forth by warning you and have that discussion with your doctor prior to your cataract surgery. What will be the prescription eye drops afterwards? And then you look at however you have your drug insurance, either through your Medicare Advantage plan or through your Part D drug plan, and find out what tier is it, what is the copay, is it covered? And if it's not covered, or you don't like the tier because it's a tier 5 very expensive one, then you have that discussion with your doctor before the surgery, because there's nothing worse than already being sick and and having to deal with this whole thing with insurance. So cataract surgery, 2 I gotchas. One is the choice between the good lenses and the better lenses and paying that cost differential. And 2 is those eye drops after surgery can be covered on your drug insurance and can be, minimal cost, or can be not covered by your drug insurance and can be, what I've seen in the last couple of years is that they cost around $400 for that little bottle of eye drops. So if you learned something today, please give me a follow, give me a like, give me a share, subscribe, whatever. That helps me continue to educate you on the wonderful world of Medicare. If you like this video, you might really like this video. Check it out. And we'd appreciate if you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a great video. We put out one every week. Check in the description below this video for a link to our cheat sheet on Social Security and Medicare. And you can also give us a comment if you have a specific question. Always feel free to call us or email us at the Medicare family.